The Tale of the Mechanical Dream. In a land far, far away, nestled between the rolling hills and sparkling rivers, there was a bustling village known as Inventia. This was no ordinary village, for the people of Inventia were unlike any other. They were tinkerers, dreamers, and creators, always busy making wonderful things with their hands and minds. But among all the villagers, there were two who stood out the most: a wise old sage named Ada, and a young, curious inventor named Al. Ada was known across the land for her knowledge of numbers and patterns. She could see the beauty in things others could not, and her fingers danced across scrolls filled with mysterious symbols. The villagers often came to her for advice, for Ada had a way of solving problems with the simplest of ideas. One day, as Ada was strolling through the village square, she noticed young Al sitting under the grand oak tree, his brow furrowed in deep thought. "What troubles you, young Al?" Ada asked gently as she approached him. Al looked up, his eyes wide with wonder and a hint of frustration. "Oh, wise Ada," he began, "I've been dreaming of a way to create something magical, something that can think and move like us, but made of metal and gears. But no matter how hard I try, I can't seem to figure out how to bring it to life." Ada smiled, her eyes twinkling with wisdom. "Ah, you speak of a mechanical being, a machine with a mind of its own. That is indeed a grand dream, young one. But such a creation requires more than just gears and metal. It needs a heart, a purpose, and most importantly, it needs to be understood." "What do you mean, a heart and a purpose?" Al asked, intrigued. "A heart, in this case, is not made of flesh and blood, but of the desire to help and do good," Ada explained. "And the purpose is what you want it to achieve. Machines must be built with kindness and care, for they will reflect the intentions of their makers." Al nodded, absorbing Ada's words. "But how do I start? Where do I find the knowledge to create such a marvel?" Ada chuckled softly. "Ah, my dear Al, the knowledge is already within you. But to unlock it, you must first understand the language of the mind, the language of logic and reason. I shall teach you the art of computation, the foundation upon which your mechanical dream will stand." And so, for many moons, Ada taught Al the secrets of computation. She showed him how to weave together the numbers and symbols into intricate patterns that could guide a machine's actions. Al listened carefully, learning to speak the language of the mind. As Al's understanding grew, so did his ideas. He began building small mechanical creatures, tiny birds that could chirp and hop, little fish that swam in his pond, and even a clever fox that could follow him around the village. The villagers were amazed by his creations, and they gathered around to watch as Al's mechanical zoo grew day by day. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Al came to Ada with a new idea. "I think I'm ready to build something bigger, something that can truly think and learn. I want to create a mechanical being that can help the people of Inventia with their daily tasks. What should I do next?" Ada looked at Al, her expression both proud and contemplative. "You have learned much, young Al, but now you must seek out the three great gifts of creation. The first is the spark of inspiration, found in the highest peaks of the mountains. The second is the core of understanding, hidden deep within the forest. And the third is the essence of compassion, found only in the hearts of those who care deeply for others." Al listened carefully, feeling a mixture of excitement and nervousness. "How will I find these gifts, wise Ada?" "Each gift is guarded by a keeper," Ada explained. "The spark of inspiration is watched over by an old wise dragon who lives atop Mount Cog. The core of understanding lies in the care of a mystical owl who roams the depths of the enchanted forest. And the essence of compassion is held by the kindest soul in our village. You must seek out these keepers, prove your worth, and earn their trust." With Ada's guidance, Al prepared for his journey. He packed his tools, his scrolls of computation, and a small pouch of his finest gears and cogs. The villagers gathered to wish him well, for they knew that this quest would be no ordinary adventure. As Al set off on his journey, the wind whispered through the trees and the stars began to twinkle above, as if to guide his way. He traveled for days, climbing steep hills and crossing wide rivers until he reached the base of Mount Cog. The mountain was tall and imposing, with its peak hidden by swirling clouds. But Al was determined. He began his ascent, step by step, winding his way up the rocky slopes. The air grew thinner and the path steeper, but Al pressed on, driven by his dream. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, Al reached the top of the mountain. There, nestled in a cave, lay the old, wise dragon, its scales shimmering like molten metal. The dragon opened one eye as Al approached, its gaze piercing and knowing. "Who dares disturb my slumber?" The dragon rumbled, its voice deep and resonant. Al bowed respectfully, his heart pounding in his chest. "Great dragon, I am Al, a humble inventor from the village of Inventia. I seek the spark of inspiration to create a mechanical being that can think and learn, to help the people of my village." The dragon studied Al for a long moment, then spoke. "The spark of inspiration is a powerful gift, young inventor. It is not given lightly. To earn it, you must prove that your creation will be born of good intentions and that you possess the wisdom to use it wisely." "I understand," replied earnestly. "I will do whatever it takes to prove my worth." The dragon nodded, and with a slow, deliberate motion, it breathed a small flame into the air. The flame hovered in front of Al, glowing brightly. "To prove your worth, you must capture this flame," the dragon said. "But beware, for it will test your resolve. Only one with a pure heart and a clear mind can hold the spark of inspiration." Al reached out, his hand trembling slightly. As his fingers closed around the flame, he felt a surge of warmth and light fill him. The flame flickered and danced, testing his strength, but Al held on, focusing on his dream and the good it could bring. After a few moments, the flame calmed, and Al found himself holding a small glowing ember, the spark of inspiration. The dragon smiled, a deep rumble echoing through the cave. "You have done well, young Al," the dragon said. "Take this spark, and may it guide you on your journey. But remember, inspiration alone is not enough. You must now seek the core of understanding, and only then will your dream take shape." With the spark of inspiration safely in his pouch, Al thanked the dragon and began his descent from the mountain. As he made his way back down, the world around him seemed brighter, as if the spark had brought a new light to his path. But Al knew his journey was far from over. Ahead of him lay the vast enchanted forest, where the mystical owl awaited. And beyond that, he still needed to find the essence of compassion. Al took a deep breath and pressed on, determined to complete his quest and bring his mechanical dream to life. And so, Al's journey continued. Al journeyed onward, his heart filled with determination as he entered the enchanted forest. The forest was dense, with towering trees whose leaves whispered secrets in the wind. The path before him was winding and mysterious, lit only by the soft glow of the spark of inspiration in his pouch. Al knew that somewhere deep within this forest, the mystical owl awaited him with the core of understanding. As he ventured deeper into the forest, the trees grew taller, and the shadows longer. Al could hear the hoot of owls in the distance, but none seemed to be the one he sought. He walked for hours, his footsteps muffled by the thick moss underfoot, until he came to a clearing bathed in moonlight. In the center of the clearing stood a great, ancient tree with a trunk so wide it seemed to touch the sky. Perched on one of its mighty branches was the owl, its feathers as white as snow, its eyes wise and knowing. Al approached the tree and bowed respectfully. "Great owl of the enchanted forest," he called out. "I am Al, a humble inventor from the village of Inventia. I seek the core of understanding to bring life to my mechanical dream, to help the people of my village." The owl turned its head slowly, its golden eyes fixed on Al. "You have found me, young inventor," the owl said in a soft, echoing voice. "But the core of understanding is not easily given. It is a gift of great wisdom, and only those who truly comprehend the nature of their creation may earn it." Al listened intently. "I am ready to prove my understanding," he replied. The owl nodded and flew down from the branch, landing gracefully before Al. "Tell me, young inventor," the owl began, What do you believe it means for a creation to truly think and learn? Al paused, reflecting on all that Ada had taught him. To think and learn, he said slowly, means to grow and adapt. It means being able to make decisions based on experiences and knowledge, just like we do. But it also means being aware of the impact those decisions have on others. A true creation must be able to understand not just how to solve problems, but also why it is solving them and for whom. The owl blinked, its eyes gleaming with approval. You have spoken wisely, young owl. Understanding is the foundation of all creation. It is not enough to simply build. One must also know the purpose and consequences of their work. But there is one more thing you must do. What is that, great owl? Al asked eagerly. The owl tilted its head and gestured with a wing toward a small hidden path that led deeper into the forest. Follow this path and you will find a stream. In its waters lies the reflection of truth. Look into the stream and you will see your heart's true intentions. If you are honest and pure in your quest, the reflection will guide you to the core of understanding. Al nodded and thanked the owl before setting off down the path. The forest grew even more silent as he walked, the air thick with anticipation. Finally, he reached the stream, its waters clear and still under the moonlight. Kneeling by the edge, Al gazed into the water. At first, he saw only his own reflection, but as he continued to look, the image began to change. He saw himself building the mechanical being he had dreamed of, but now he could also see the people of his village, their smiles, their hopes, their dreams. He saw how his creation could help them in their daily lives, how it could bring joy and ease to those who needed it most. But then, the reflection showed something more, a shadow of doubt, a worry that his creation might one day cause harm, if not guided with care. All realized that understanding meant not just the joy of creation, but also the responsibility that came with it. I will always guide my creation with wisdom and kindness, Al whispered to the reflection. I will ensure it serves the good of all. As the words left his lips, the water in the stream shimmered, and from its depths rose a small, glowing crystal, the core of understanding. Al carefully reached out and took the crystal in his hand, feeling its warmth and light fill him with newfound wisdom. With the core of understanding in his possession, Al made his way back to the clearing where the owl awaited. The owl nodded approvingly as Al presented the crystal. You have proven yourself worthy, young inventor, the owl said. With the core of understanding, your creation will have the wisdom to think, learn, and grow in the right way. But remember, the final piece of your journey still awaits, the essence of compassion. Al thanked the owl once more and left the enchanted forest, his heart light with hope and purpose. He traveled back to his village where the final part of his quest lay. Upon his return, Al knew that the essence of compassion would not be found in any far-off place, but right there in Inventia. He thought long and hard about who in the village possessed the kindest heart, and then it came to him. There was a gentle, elderly woman named Mother Alara, who was known for her boundless kindness and care for everyone, especially the children of the village. Al visited Mother Alara at her cozy cottage on the edge of the village. The old woman was sitting by her fire, knitting a warm scarf for a child who had none. Mother Alara, Al began softly, I have come to ask for your help. I am on a quest to bring life to a creation that will help our village. I have the spark of inspiration and the core of understanding, but I still need the essence of compassion. I believe you are the one who can help me. Mother Alara looked at Al with a gentle smile. Oh, my dear Al, she said warmly, compassion is not something that can be given or taken. It is something that lives within all of us. It grows when we care for others, when we put their needs before our own. I can see that you have a kind heart, Al, and that you truly want to help others with your creation. Al felt a warmth in his chest as he listened to Mother Alara's words. But how do I ensure that my creation will always have compassion? He asked. By showing it, Mother Alara replied. Teach it through your actions. Show your creation the importance of kindness, of helping others without expecting anything in return. If you do that, the essence of compassion will live within it, just as it lives within you. Al nodded, understanding now what he needed to do. He spent the next few days with Mother Alara, helping her with her daily tasks, learning from her as she cared for those in need. He watched how she always found time to listen, to lend a helping hand, and to offer a kind word. And as he did, Al felt the essence of compassion growing within him. Finally, Al returned to his workshop, where he began to assemble his creation. He worked day and night, using the spark of inspiration to bring the machine to life, the core of understanding to give it wisdom, and the essence of compassion to guide its actions. As he placed the final piece, the mechanical being came to life, its eyes glowing softly with warmth and intelligence. The villagers gathered to see the result of Al's hard work. The mechanical being stood tall and strong, yet there was a gentleness in its movements, a kindness in its gaze. Al introduced it to the villagers, explaining how it could help with their tasks, learn from them, and grow alongside them. The villagers welcomed the mechanical being with open arms, and soon it became a beloved part of their community. It helped Mother Alara in her garden, played with the children, and assisted the farmers in their fields. But most importantly, it learned the value of kindness, understanding, and compassion from those around it. All watched with pride as his creation thrived, knowing that it would continue to serve the village for years to come. And as the sun set over Inventia, the village was filled with the sound of laughter and the hum of the mechanical being, a symbol of what could be achieved when dreams, wisdom, and compassion come together. The end.